you know, nishasemewa maneno zangu, tunakubali, tumekubali your performance, na tumepata mabawa, si ndio? Yes, all right. So spontaneous.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about yourself. You know, you were here a long time ago,
Yo.
and our fans have changed. Things have changed.
E-Circuit for me has been home.
I know.
This is where I launched my first show, Gaining Grip Experience. This is why I did this, the If I Die Tomorrow.
Yeah,
on an acapella without anything. It was the first time.
There was a guitarist.
Oh, no.
Really?
That was the first time.
Oh,
It was
the first time.
2016
Okay. But pia mimi sikuwa. I was not here.
2016. And it's been really beautiful to you guys to walk the journey with me, because even today we're actually talking about a video that I had launched initially.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. So tell them a bit about yourself.
So yeah, I had mentioned earlier, I am a spoken word artist to use arts for social change. I have been in this space since Drama Festival, 1998, my people. Don't be shocked, I was just in class 2.
Where were you in 1998?
I was in class 2, yo.
I'm sure half of our fans, wengine wako wamezaliwa 1998.
We're doing a lot of drama.
They were born like 2 years later.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yo, I am old, ni neighbor. Ziko tu hapa. So yeah, that's how I started my journey. I remember the first time I actually wrote something, I was going through a lot of bullying back then. And so, ile frustration too. And you don't even know you're actually putting down a suicidal note. And you're like, God, me, I'm tired. Me, you just take me and take me back. You know, me, I'm tired of all this being pulled and all that. But I think the most beautiful thing that came out of that was, I can actually write.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the beginning of my art as a form of healing. And over time, I used to think I was going to be, I always say this, the next Mariah Carey. Dreams are valid.
They are. It's not too late.
It's very valid.
It's not too late.
Yeah, but so I get to high school. No. Way before high school, I got a chance to go and represent the school in Nakuru. By that time, I was still got Nasomail Doret, Kapsara Primary. And it was so it was dope. Like, I was the only person, and I thought to myself, because I love traveling, even as a child, I already knew I loved traveling. Yeah, I was like, if my art can make me leave the school compound, why not? So that's how I delved deeper into poetry, of course, motivated by my teacher, Mrs. Onyango. I wonder if she's still around. And then I get to come to high school, and I actually wrote my first piece, which I actually now presented at the Drama Festival. Yeah. And that was like a win. That was a major win. Because I really, really wanted to get out of school.
Everybody wants to get out of school.
Funky.
Except machuo peke yake ndo wako wanataka kutoka shule. The rest of us.
You know us, you know we people. Then I got to campus, that was in 2010. 2014, 2010, 11, 12, 13. No, 2011, because I finished in 2014. Yeah. And I met a guy called Ordinary Mind. And I remember telling him I love poetry. And I was like, you should try spoken word. That was the first time I heard the name spoken word. So I was wondering, what is spoken word? And he said he would teach me. But I was the backup singer for a friend called Enigma Creative. I still feared like putting
You're a backup?
I was a backup singer. I was going to be the next Mariah Carey, you guys.
What?
That's
new.
I know.
That's new for you.
Very new for him.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
So I backup sang for Enigma Creative. He's a dope writer. And I was so intimidated. I was like, I can't put my poetry out there. And so I leave campus and then I come to Nairobi. And the one thing that stands out is I like writing. Yeah. So I meet a guy called Rick's Poet who links me up with Fatuma's, and I start writing. So this time I'm writing with purpose because they used to do themed shows. So to one day we were going to write about financial, for instance, now the finance bill would be something to write about. Yeah. or human rights violations or human trafficking, you know. So that's how I actually started now researching on my pieces and actually writing pieces that are geared towards, say, policy reforms and speaking out for people.
Yeah.
It started out with speaking out for myself because I used to tell my own stories, and then it became a whole conversation of now,
evolved,
of now let's speak for the world, you know.
Okay.
Someone once asked me, why do you think your voice matters? I was like, you know what? Because it mattered when I really needed it back then. So definitely it would matter for other people.
For other people, it's true.
And there's no beautiful thing as building from within to without.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I do what I do. Over the years, I have tried lots to like put out my own personal experiences into the work that I do, so that it's also genuine. You know,
Comes from the heart.
exactly.
From within.
Vulnerability is the hardest tool. But my friend, art has taught me
And
vulnerability.
especially being vulnerable to other people. You know, I can be vulnerable to you,
Yes.
but to the world,
Yes.
that's different.
Yes. So it's been, and now just meeting amazing, incredible people in the industry who've been like helping me out to like build the content and also just to push it out there. And to be able to have like organizations like Forum Civu now, Champion for Democracy and Governance, Power 254, and to also just be capacity built on matters, safe migration through Heart Kenya, Peace Tree Network. You know, so basically, it's just been spontaneous, has been a result of the support of different people within different spaces.
Yeah.
And that brings me to now what the project I am on, which
Hold it there. Hold it right there. We'll come to that, you know. Let's hear from Komora a little bit and then maybe tell the people, you know, you had told us that you are a singer, songwriter,
I am.
you have a school. So
I
tell us a
am.
bit about that and how you met Spontaneous.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi guys. My name again is Komora, and I am a singer-songwriter. I do in the style of rock music. I am in 3 rock bands.
3.
One of them is an Afrima-winning band called Rush. I have my own band now, which I'm the lead singer, called A New One.
Okay.
Just dropped our first single about 2 weeks ago. It's called Fire. It's online.
amazing.
Really?
Yeah, just go check it out. It's called Fire. I also play another band called Hot Sun Frequency. About to drop our first album. And I play another lady called The Boy. I play with a bunch of artists. I have actually listed them. Like I have like 15 artists who I play with.
Yo!
You know, it's
Vijana
hard
Barubaru,
to be
Nini.
with 3 people in one band.
Yeah.
But now 3 bands, different people. How do you manage commitment, you know, conflict? How do you deal with all of that?
There's no conflict really. I love playing guitar, and I love sharing what I have. I have no problem with sharing whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes, I find joy. Actually, I find joy and purpose playing guitar with whoever is in that space who loves art as well. So I find joy doing it. So it doesn't really affect me. Actually, I find it very, very, very empowering.
Yeah.
I also teach guitar by day. I have nice stuff. Nice, very, very tough, bro. It's T for tough. You're gonna have to
We
survive.
need to do tax for content creation. My God!
Where? No masana.
My good Lord, grace.
Yeah, so I have a startup school called Lela.
Yeah.
It's us here at WCA. I teach guitar there. If you want to learn guitar, you can actually highlight me.
Just guitar or
Okay,
other instruments?
Yeah, there's other instruments as well. Yes. So basically, I met this lovely lady here years back. Was it Gaining Grip?
Yo,
When did we
can
meet?
we share this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, please do.
I
You do
know.
it. Do it. No. Go ahead. Share it.
Cool. So, so I'm organizing Gaining Grip Experience, and
The first one.
the second one now, the one that Nomonde Sky came from.
Yeah.
SA, right?
Yes.
The South African lady.
Yeah, the South African
that one,
lady.
yeah.
That's the first time I met you as well.
Yeah, by then that was the first time. So now you know how the pressure, what you've said about teamwork and all that. And somehow, unfortunately, because of personal reasons, my guitarist wasn't able to come on time.
Oh yeah.
And we needed to do a rehearsal set before we get on stage.
Yeah.
Then Komora comes in and says, yo, hi, spontaneous. So what do you need done? I'm like, my person, I have 1 hour and a 1 hour show, and I do not have a guitarist, and I'm a chelewa, so what do we do? And then Komora tells me, I will play. I'm like, yo, we've been doing rehearsals for 3 months. How are you going to play today? And he's like, I got you. Give me the codes. I'm like, I'm not a musician. I do not know what codes are. I'm like, okay, how are we helping you? Okay, sing each piece for me as we go. I swear that's what we did.
Yeah.
For an hour.
And it flew to you.
It flew.
Yeah.
And that's how I met Komora. That's how, that was my first like direct interaction. We were seeing each other, hi, but that was the first time. I was like, this is one person I can depend on.
Yeah.
And
proof that he loves playing guitar, and he will do. That's why he's playing with 15 artists.
and if
and
you
then come on, if you just meet in 1 hour, people have been rehearsing for 3 months.
Yo.
No, 1 hour. No, me flow.
You are such a savior that day. You have no idea. He was, yeah.
I'm glad that happens. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he's always been like just checking in and asking, so what are you doing? What are the next projects you have in mind? I'm open to supporting.
Okay, that's nice. You know, it's important to support each other in this Nairobi.
Yeah. Also, you know, life is very, very short. People think we have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time. You don't have to go. You know, all you're like, you like this. You're like, I wish I could have done this to this person. Do it. Just do it. You
Now.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Yeah.
And it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
It's been 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
2019.
God damn, it's 5 years.
It's a long time.
Wow.
All right, so let's talk about your, you know, the projects that you are pushing right now. African Woman.
Hey, vulnerability galore. So I'm doing, first off, during Mother's Day, again, courtesy of drum rolls, we released a piece called African Woman.
Yeah.
And it's a very personal piece to me because it seeks to transform the single parenthood narrative through the lenses of the lone child. I coined that, guys. Lone child just means...
Okay, let me not water it down, because, you know, it's a concept I really like.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the support. It's about what a lone child means, quote unquote, because it's coined. It's being raised by a single parent. So the child has been raised by a single parent.
I told you, you know, you're speaking for so many people.
Yeah.
Yo,
You're
thank
speaking
you.
for so many people.
Thank you so much for rubber stamping this. And you know, when I started out, it was just when I wrote the piece the first time, it was after my mom asked me, you write things for other people. You've never written something for me.
For me, huh?
Yo, I was like, you're sure you want me to write stuff? So eventually I had the ability, like now I knew exactly what I wanted to write about her. And I did the piece, and my mom passed on in, or rather, Alichu's Heaven Kuliko Earth in 2016. And the last day when we were together, she was bedridden. And that's the day I read the piece out for her. And I don't know, you know, sometimes those are very tough space. But it was so funny because I woke up in the morning, tulikuwa tu hapo hospitalini, and the pastor came through and prayed for her. And then I was like, Mom, I'm going to do a show for you today. Even if you can't communicate, I'll do a show for you. So I do a show for her. I read to her this piece I have written, and then I tell her, when you're healed, hey, now you'll sit on stage. So you better get healed very fast. And then, and then I did a worship song for her and all that, but she left us eventually. And that was in 2016. I never had strength to put this piece out there. So 7 years, because it's now 2023.
I know.
They say 7 years is a year of completion, man. So I think my grieving phase with the piece, imekuja completion sai, where I finally now launched the video. And the video just talks about, pours myself out to my late mom and the discourse around that. And so the whole idea was to spur discussions with this video. And when I was putting down the project, I realized that statistically they talk about the single mom.
Yes, single mom, single dad.
You know, and the single dads. But what about the single child? You know,
yeah.
the assumption is the problem we have is poverty, lack of education. But a single child, do you really know what poverty is at that time? Do you know?
No.
That's not our, the challenges we have here are very different, because now for us it's more on the mental health basis. It's on the separation anxiety. When am I going to see my mom next? When am I going to see my dad next? To the point where
If I ever see them.
If I ever
there are some who never see them.
Yeah.
They come to see them much later in life.
later in life. So the whole separation anxiety and how it plays out when you grow older into your own relationships. Some people choose to stick in these relationships even if it's toxic, because oh, I don't want to also bring in a child from a single space, you know. And then there's also us who run away. We see the slightest of problems and you're like,
I'm
done,
out.
I'm out,
I'm
you
out.
know. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. But I think the whole idea of the project is to just bring out the voice of the child. And considering yesterday was African Child Day,
A child day,
I mean, what a
yeah.
beautiful...
Timely. It's so
Thanks.
timely.
It's, I know,
Very,
you
very
know.
timely,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very
It-
timely.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to now focus on the child, because we also have mental health issues right now. To be honest, I feel like mental health issues don't start when you're older. They start when you're younger.
Yeah, childhood trauma.
You know? Child, thank you. Because speaking for myself, looking now, uko you, older, but every time I'm always looking back. I'm like, what did I miss then that is affecting me now?
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure, yeah.
And so for me, as a single, as a lone child, for me, the key things were separation anxiety and the mental health aspect, and also the pressure to be perfect. Because you think about, if you came from a broken home, all you really want to do is have a unified home.
Yeah.
You're always trying to prove that you are deserving, you are better, you are, you know, and you also feel like you want to give back to the people who helped you. You feel indebted, for the lack of a better word. You feel indebted. And it's taken me so many years to realize how much I choose lesser things in life because I fear if I allow people to give me better things, then I'm indebted to them and I can't give it back. Because as a child, it always felt like I have a point to prove. Like if your fees is paid for someone else and not your parents, it's I need to do better. I owe them. I have
Like,
to
I owe them.
perform
Yes,
visually.
yes.
I have to show that their money did not go to waste, you know. And when you're,
It's true. That's deep.
you
man.
relate
That's deep.
you know.
Too early in the morning to be talking about such deep things.
You know.
Yeah, it's
you know.
And
Or
today in the morning we are rather talking about kindness, you know, being kind to someone and not feeling like, you know, this person was kind. I don't owe them.
You don't know them.
Yes, because you
Yeah.
were kind to me.
Do you know how many times I've had to sit down with one of my favorite aunties, and I think she's been the most instrumental person in my life, because she reminds me, you do not owe us. And I think even the guys who are helping, which is amazing. I know you're supporting the lone children or anyone you're supporting. It's amazing to always just go back to them and tell them, you don't owe me.
Yeah,
I am doing this out
Thank
of
you.
love.
Thank you.
You know?
That's right.
And
Good
I
share.
know you've never thought about it, about telling someone that, but it
But the
goes a long way. It like removes like a chain, a bondage chain, you know. So how she kept on telling me every time. She's like, you know, we are doing this because we are your family, and this is what family
Family
ought
does.
to do.
To
This
do,
is what
yes.
it does.
Yeah.
And the fact that she kept saying it a couple of times, it no longer felt. My friend, in these old ages when I've realized, oh yeah,
don't
they
owe
were
her.
actually, I
Yeah.
don't owe anyone, I don't, you know.
Makes
And it's
sense.
beautiful to get that release. And another thing,
We are running out of time.
oi, it's
We are
fine.
running out of time.
So, and I used to to clear, to like just finish, I'll be doing, by God's grace, I'll be doing the screenings in the different parts of the city in Nairobi. But the first screening that's of the African woman and the conversations centered around transforming this perception, through the eyes of the lone child. And the first screening, we thank God, is happening in Rwanda.
Ooh, Rwanda.
And that's in the month of July. And then when we come back home, hopefully we get to do another screening in different cinemas, you know, and just have these conversations. And who knows, maybe be the first people to actually do statistical discourse around the lone child.
I honestly, by that, I like that concept a lot. And that's what I'm saying. We are talking about very deep things because every other time we look at it from the parent side. Yeah. Anyway.
By the way, sorry, just to even mention, do you know right now, there 50% of households are single women led. So as much as people presume that single households are the minority, they're actually at par.
Okay.
We're actually at par.
Interesting.
And it's assumed that in the next few years,
it's going to get higher.
Oh,
okay.
You know.
I hope it doesn't get to that.
I hear you.
Yeah. Anyway, very fast before we get to the performance, just mention your social media handles, and where people can find your pieces as they wait for the screening, and Komora as well, where people can find your music and be part of, you know, your school. Because I'm very sure there are so many artists watching us today.
Cool. Do you go fast?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
In very few words.
Okay. Just follow me on IG _Komora, on Facebook Komora, on Twitter Komora, on YouTube Komora Ayub. Also follow my band, a new one, ANIUAN official. A new one. Official, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Cool. Spontaneous the Poet on all social media platforms except Twitter at Spontaneous Ray. But the video is also on YouTube at Spontaneous the Poet.
All right. Okay. So let's listen to this, you know, inspiring piece that brought about the conversations of the lone child.
Ooh. Let's do this. Cheza kidogo, cheka kidogo, oh, acheza kidogo, acheka kidogo, mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way. I'm an African woman, but by 2 yet raised by 1, I am that statistic that thrived from this equation. Because alone is how she has always walked. In this narrowed path with broadened thoughts, I see her lowering her pace and fastening her laces just to give us the very best. Because alone is how she has always walked when he drooled over his pants and swung that stool to her direction, but she picked that root and swept the bad omen away. And we began living in pieces amidst the tiny, disentangled parts. She became both a mother and a father. And a father. Komora, let's do this. Mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way, mama way, mama. If you're at home, join us. Mama way, 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 mama way.
Cheza kidogo,
Cheza kidogo,
cheza kidogo,
oh, cheka kidogo,
cheka kidogo,
hey, cheza kidogo,
cheza kidogo,
hey, cheka kidogo. See, I remember I remember those days when the society smacked you on the face. Heaps of responsibilities led to depression. A null hypothesis proven. 6 years down the line, still stuck on the poverty lane yet again. Another null hypothesis proven. You see, too much negativity spread on our history, but you taught us the beauty of positivity. Because alone is how she has always walked. In this narrowed path, she had to have wisdom. Because questions like this never missed. At 10 questions be like, uko na baba kweli?
Cheza kidogo. Cheza kidogo.
At 15 to 19 questions be like, uko sure na kwa na Charlie? I sure you even know how to take care of a boyfriend, yo. It's funny how these questions married with age at 25 to 29 questions be like, uko sure na get married? Are you sure you're gonna be submissive to your husband? With the woman looking for a phase in this global place, it was a bit difficult, but Mama reminded us that human words were just like the mist. That you could either lit a rain jacket and watch it demystify, or you could hibernate from it, or you could either lit that bonfire and watch it all demystify. Because human words are just that. Words. Mama way, 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 mama way. Acheza kidogo, oh, acheza kidogo, eh. Acheza kidogo, oh, acheza kidogo. Mama way, 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 mama way.
Cheza kidogo. Cheka kidogo.
Oh, na 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 na.
Cheka kidogo.
Hey, yeah.
Cheza kidogo.
Spontaneous, the poet, courtesy of director O. Yeah, he did the video.
Okay. Shout out to you, director. Usi tunamjua Caesar. Anyway, yes, thank you so much, guys, for coming through. We appreciate the interesting conversation. Yani, it has even eaten up into our request hour.
Oh.
So yani, we are like half the time, but it was definitely worth it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best in your individual careers as well. And let's continue supporting each other.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up next, request hour. Send in your request, Kenyan music request. Sawa sawa.
Merci.